All right, so I am here with Kim, one of our Fit Mom clients, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her journey. This is take two because I hit the wrong button when we ended the last time. So let's see if we can make it as good. So I'm going to start with just asking you how you found Fit Moms and just what made you decide to join this program.
So I really wanted to make a long-term change. I feel like I've done the diet roller coaster for the last, 15-ish years of my life. And I feel like I needed to really understand how to make changes long term and not always slide backwards once I lost X amount of pounds or whatever the goal was. And so this time around, I did have a set number of weight I wanted to lose, especially because I signed myself up for a challenge. But aside from that, I really wanted to learn how to change my mindset so that, once I lost that weight, I would be able to maintain it and then hopefully keep working to lose more, when the time is right. But I continuously would see content on Facebook and via email from Liz and Becca. So that kind of kept my attention over the years, in addition to the fact that I had originally worked with their company several years ago, back when it was Lifestyle Nutrition. So I was already a little bit familiar with them from that. But definitely all the content that they put out there definitely has kept my attention over the years. And I was hesitant to make the investment in myself initially, honestly. But I'm definitely glad that I did. And I do feel like that overall, the program and definitely the changes in mindset that I've experienced have been well worth it.
Awesome. What was your biggest aha moment or biggest takeaway from the program this time?
I think it's really how much your mindset really does play into everything you do. So, like in my case, I came into it saying, I know how to track macros. I know how to weigh my food. I know, what to eat, what not to eat. I kind of knew all the basics, but it was really changing my mindset so that those things really didn't feel like such a chore. And, really making decisions that would help me to get to my goals, and making those decisions or performing those daily habits every day. Or even if I skipped a day, hopping back on it the next day. Because I definitely, when I think about it now, actually, I definitely had many, many times where I'm like, oh, I'll start on the first of the month. I'll start on Monday. And then, Tuesday would come and Monday didn't go great. And I'd be like, okay, I'll start on the 10th of the month, or I'll start next Monday. Or it was always like postponing it, waiting for this like magical day where I've now gotten to the point where it's like, no, like if you have an off day, you just, it is what it is. It doesn't mean you have to derail the whole day. It doesn't mean you have to derail the whole weekend or the whole week, but you just get back on it the next day. And I think making that mindset shift has ultimately been what has helped me really get to a place where I feel like the progress I've made is sustainable, and hopefully I can, reach future goals that I set for myself.
Yeah. What are some of your future goals?
So I definitely would like to lose more weight. Right now I'm in like a maintenance phase. And ironically enough, I'm like really anxious for it to kind of like be over so I can go into another cut. And I don't know why, because I like eating more. So so I feel like it's like I want to like see more progress. But also I keep telling myself to like be patient and like, let my metabolism, relax a little bit. But yeah, so I do plan on going to another cut, hopefully within the next like 3 to 4 weeks or so, and losing more weight with that. Definitely want to, balance that with, then going into maintenance and, focus on building strength. And I do CrossFit. So it's like, trying to find that balance between, moving quickly, but also lifting heavy. And depending on what, eating cycle I'm in, whether I'm in maintenance or a cut, I feel like, obviously my body feels different ways. So I'm kind of trying to utilize my diet towards those different types of fitness goals. And overall, like this program has, sparked my interest that much more in fitness and nutrition, and you have given me like kind of the extra push to kind of, I don't know if I'd say follow my dreams, but take a leap and get certified myself to do nutrition coaching and be a personal trainer in the future. And that's something that I've always thought I would love, but never did it because I felt that I had to look a certain way myself before I could be taken seriously in that arena by anyone else. And I am really thankful that you gave me that extra push to be like, no, like it's about what it's about how confident you are. And it's about, having these experiences yourself that you can relate to people. And I think, having that extra reassurance made me just feel a little bit more confident and, signing up for my certification programs. And so now I'm working on that. And I'm hoping that hopefully in, the next few months, I'll be able to work with some clients of my own and help to improve their lives the way that you've helped to improve mine.
That's awesome. So besides weight loss, what are some other benefits that you've seen from the program and from working with us?
I would say definitely all the, the mindset topics that are addressed in terms of, building healthy habits, whether that is physical or mental. There's been different information out there that I've seen as well regarding, macros and how to food prep. And, that's really helpful as well. I know to like a large audience. And I think, again, for me, I've say it all the time, or I should say I've said it all the time in my coaching, but I love the idea of periodization. And I think this setting is the first time that I really ever heard periodization discussed, and the fact that we're not supposed to just be on a diet forever, and that you really should strategically plan it, throughout the year, so that, you're in cuts at a certain time and then you're in maintenance at a certain time, and when those breaks will be. That way, ideally, you don't get to like the point of burnout. And I think that topic itself is something that I always get really like way too excited about every time I talk to someone about it. But I'm like, I think for me, it was just so eye-opening because that's something where I feel like if I knew that and understood that literally like 15 years ago, I'm like, man, I could have done so much different in my life. And like, why don't they teach that types of stuff in health class in school? And they don't. And so I think just learning some of these basics for how to not just lose weight, but how to get your body in a healthy state long term, which ideally is maintenance more often than not. I think learning that has probably provided me the most mental relief, and knowing that, when I am doing these different cuts, that it's not with no end in sight. And I know that I can plan my goals accordingly, and I don't have to make these huge goals to say, okay, on this cut, I want to lose 40 pounds. It's like, no, I can, you can strategically plan it. So you do it for X amount of time, go to maintenance, take a breather, and then do another cut to work towards the rest. It's like, not everything has to happen in one swoop. And just really being patient with the process, which is really hard to do sometimes.
Totally. Even when patience is hard.
Yeah.
So do you have confidence around your knowledge now of when to go into a cut, when to be in maintenance, moving in and out of the phases? Is that something that you've learned?
Yes, I would say I definitely am much more comfortable with that. And I've asked you a ton of questions about that in our one-on-one calls, but also I did find that, Liz and Becca had older podcasts where they had discussed periodization. There was a couple of them. So I've listened to those as well. And even then, I feel like it's still information that even once you know it still helps to be refreshed on it every now and then. But I think definitely you teaching me the body cues of knowing when it's time to stop a cut. Again, that's something that I didn't know before. So, knowing that if, you're just really exhausted, or you're not having regular bowel movements, or, the scale is stalling, or whatever it may be, to, really listen to your body and pay attention to what your body is telling you, because sometimes it's not that you just need to eat less food. Sometimes it's just that you just need to take a step back and just, take a little diet break or whatever. And I think that being better equipped with all that information is definitely helping me to feel more confident before I go into my next cut. I'm still a little nervous, not gonna lie. I would have it's nice to have the hand holding. So I feel like it gives me peace of mind, when a coach is there. But when I try to do it on my own in the future, I will feel more confident in doing that for myself. And I definitely feel way more confident in explaining that strategy to other people when they say, what have you been doing? Or wow, some of my family over the weekend said, wow, you lost weight. What have you been doing? I'm like, well, I did this and this and this. And they're like, thinking oh, you're eating a lot less or whatever. And I'm like, no, actually, still eating, in a cut, ideally 2,000 calories a day or 1,800, 1,900, but not 1,200 calories like so many of us think.
Yeah.
So I think being able to really tell people I've had success in making positive changes by not destroying my body and my metabolism has been very rewarding for myself, but also I feel like it can help other people to really kind of think their strategies as well.
Totally. Well, I'm always just a Facebook message away if you have a question or two. Never
Thank you.
abandoning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last question. So you have a girlfriend who's debating about doing the program. She's not sure if she wants to make the investment in herself, if it'll work. What do you tell her?
I would definitely say that there's a lot of great eye-opening information that's presented on a very regular basis. So, with the focus of trying to change your mindset, there's more than enough information coming at you consistently to really drill these certain messages into your brain around, eating a certain way or building effective habits or, just planning your day or whatever it may be. So I think that's one of the biggest things that is helpful versus if it was a program where you just said, here's your macros, eat those macros, and that was it. So I would say definitely the amount of content that is available to help with really learning and developing and making sustainable growth. I think that's a huge asset. Of course, working with coaches one-on-one is really helpful. And I really also like the new format that you all have started doing with the group calls as well, where it's also kind of like a lesson where, you're teaching something to the larger group. And then can give their individual feedback from there. But again, I feel like the continuous learning opportunities that take place, multiple times a week is probably one of the biggest parts in making a mental shift. And I think making a mental shift for me has been well worth the investment of the program.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure this is going to help a lot of people. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.